Yeah, wait.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. One, two.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And welcome to everyone on this most beautiful Shabbat evening as we have the blessing of our youth and teen choir here leading us in song and in prayer and in spirit tonight. Join with all of you that are here physically. Join with those who are online in our online community, merging the two. Turn around, wave hello, say Shabbat Shalom. As we welcome all of you from near and far. And every Shabbat is unique. Every Shabbat has a sense of spirit and wholeness. We're entering spring, and I was actually in New York this past week, and I watched as the cherry blossoms and as the spring was very alive, and it was 87 degrees. 87 degrees. And it was 57 and cloudy here. Something was wrong. But here, what I witnessed there was the reminder that our universe and that our earth continues to regenerate each and every year and reminds us that growth and spirit and creativity and beginnings are always around us and are always possible. And so tonight is about, in a sense, we're in the springtime, we're in these months of renewal, we're in the Omer, we're in the counting of the barley harvest. When we move from Passover to Shavuot, from receiving the Aseret Dibrot, the Ten Commandments, we're in a time where each day we're supposed to be weary and conscious of what we have and where we have it and where we're going and what our potential is. And what our potential is in our voices, in our hearts, whether it's in school or on the soccer field or wherever we are, that it's about our potential. And so when we get to Shabbat, we stop and we cease and we say, okay, we don't need to worry about our potential tonight because it's Shabbat, so we're going to take a break. But it doesn't preclude us from continuing the search. And so tonight, as we join in spirit and song and story on our family Shabbat, and honor a few birthdays maybe, that we have the opportunity to always remember, we have the opportunity to begin again. And so we're going to light our candles this evening. I'd like to call upon our Media Past President, Kim Carnot, to kindle our Shabbat lights as we turn in our prayer books, either on page 2, or you can look on the screens, either at those online or in our sanctuary this evening, inviting you to participate.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Before we welcome Shabbat with our Kabbalat Shabbat and we receive it in our souls, just a moment of pause. Those who are a part of our community know that in the past 2 weeks, we've had more passings than we've had in any time probably of recent memory or history. In my 20 years in the rabbinate, I've never had as many passings as we've had in one time frame. And there are those that I see, and I'm looking out in the congregation, who've lost loved ones. And we have them every week. You come here to honor loved ones, but not so as many as I see tonight. And with your memories and with your blessing, it is a time where you can say, how do you begin to hold those memories and create anew? And how do you begin to honor those loved ones in your life and move forward in blessing? And so with all of you here, as we sing and as we bring Shabbat joy, we also know that in our hearts we hold the memories of those we've loved and lost. And so on Kabbalat Shabbat, we begin page 14, Shir Chadash, sing unto God a new song, and we join together.
Shir צדיק וישראל לשמחה וישראל לשמחה יאללה לילה Yisrael Simcha, Yisrael Simcha, Ya la 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 la, Ya la la, Ya la 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 la, Ya la la.
Page 22, L'Chadodi.
Lekadodi, Bigratala, Beni Shabbat, Nekabela, Lekadodi, Bigratala, Beni Shabbat, Nekabela, Shamor v'Zachor v'Dikur Echad, Ishnianu El HaTehillah, Adonai Echad U'Shmo Echad, Tiferet v'Litzilha, Lechadodi, Bigratala, Beni Shabbat, Nekabela, Lechadodi, Bigratala, Beni Shabbat, Nekabela, Yitoreri, Yitoreri, Ki ba'orech u'mi'ori, Uri Uri Shidaveri, Kevod Adonai Alayich Nigla, Lechadodi, Bigratala, Beni Shabbat, Nekabela, Lechadodi, Bigratala, Beni Shabbat, Nekabela, Omer Shalom Atzeret Bala, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה על סגולה, בואי עלה, בואי עלה, הדודי, בגרקלה, בני שבת, מקבלה לך דודי, בגרקלה, בני שבת, מקבלה.
Page 24.
You may be seated. Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon Melech, Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon Melech, Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Bochem Shalom, Malchei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon Melech, Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Shalom, Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon Melech, Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malchei Hasharet. shalom, malchei shalom, malchei elyon melech, malchei amlachim hakadosh, baruch hu shalom, shalom aleichem, malchei hasharet, malchei elyon melech, malchei amlachim hakadosh, baruch hu shalom aleichem, malchei hasharet, malchei elyon melech, malchei amlachim hakadosh, baruch hu. We rise together on page 146 as we call each other to prayer with the words of Baruch Hu. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, lechoshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, lechoshech mipnei or. Last time, roll into dark, roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. We read together. God, you gave us the Torah to show that you love us. May it always be a friend at our side. The Torah is our teacher. It tells us what is right and what is wrong. It shows us how to live good lives. Be with us always when we study Torah. Be with us always as we try to live good lives. We praise you, eternal God, who gave the Jewish people the Torah. It is your special gift to us. It is the gift of your love.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai
Echad. Please be seated. We join together, page 150 in Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodzecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אליכם emet. On page 152, we have our prayer Chamocha, and we've just celebrated the holiday of Passover, the holiday that reminds us of our redemption from Egypt. And perhaps the most important line in the entire Haggadah, the entire line of text that we say together, is B'chol dor vador. In every generation, you will pass this down to your children. And the rabbis caught on to this, not just because they wrote the Haggadah and the Siddur, but because they knew that our master narrative is our exodus from Egypt. And so when we say B'chol dor vador, that we should pass this down from generation to generation, we don't just mean at the Seder, we mean every day, which is why Mi Chamocha is included in our prayers every evening and every morning. We join together, page 152.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, v'ha'amidenu shomreinu lechaim, uferos aleinu sukat shelomecha, v'tachneinu b'tzitzah tova milfanecha, v'hoshienu leman shemecha.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu shomreinu lechaim, ufos aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us the wrong from right, O Adonai. Amen. 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 V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורות ולברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ולברית העולם.
They knew that Bnei Israel Oti leolam, Oti leolam.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ולברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ולברית העולם.
ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ולברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ולברית העולם.
as we continue calling ourselves to prayer, the central portion of our service, our Amida. I invite you to rise if you are able. We continue on page 155. We'll begin together. We invite you to use the rhythms and the words of the prayer book and the meditations of your own hearts silently, as we'll continue in silence and then we'll join together. You may be seated when you finish your prayer.
Yeah, la 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 la, 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 yeah, la 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 la. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid Teilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalalai lai lai, 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 yalalai.
As Rabbi Navarez mentioned, this has been a difficult week and a difficult few weeks. We've seen people move from our healing lists to our Kaddish lists. And when we do so, we also internally, although we don't say the names out loud, we also in our hearts recognize that we also add a lot of people to our prayers who are in need of healing, in need of some sense of wholeness, in their feelings of brokenness, in their feelings of loss, in their feelings of grief. I will offer our list as we always do. And as my hand comes around, if you are thinking of someone who is in need of healing, I invite you to say their name. And it's also okay to offer your own name. Ari Zalman Lei, Ben Shoshana V'Moshe, Aviva Rivka Bat Yonena, Lauren Berman, Ben Chai, Shayna Chana Bat Pinchas, Beguta Rivka Shindel, Karen Eisenberg, Elliot Epner, Steve Flaster, Denise Garrick, Stephen Goldstein, Sonia Grossberg, Anita Hosenpad, Ellen Hutt, Hector Islas, Dennis Jasper, Ruth Jordan, Richard Kitson, Marty Levine, Marshall J. Lewis, Mike Lynn, Jim McIndoe, Omer Najari, Lisa Nelson, Robin Nelson, Sharon Resnick, Sharon Ritter, Galina Rubalchenko, Rosa Santiago, Jenny Schnitzer, Rhonda Schwartz, Robin Streichler, Seth Streichler, Lynn Slotkin, Cindy Spector, Phyllis Tucker, Kathy Weil, John Weil, George Wise, Sandy Wood, Susan Zale. If you're joining us virtually, I invite you to share a name that you're thinking of in our chat as we say these names aloud. Page 253, we offer our prayer for healing.
Take
The time has come. As if you are a regular here on our family Shabbat on the second Friday of the month at 6:15, and we have the opportunity to honor another year around the sun for so many of you. And so if you happen to be sharing in the month of April a birthday, we'd like to honor you tonight and come on forward because we want to honor you with our traditional blessings, our words that we want to learn from you, and of course always our birthday pens. Come one, come all. So one of the things we've been adding in the past couple of months is if all of you, there's something imbalanced about this. Wait. Do you see what I'm seeing? Okay. I've never seen this before. We did not plan this. Are you sure? Anybody? Anybody? No? Okay. Okay. All right. So, if you can offer your name, and if you'd like to share, I hope you will, how old you have or are turning this month, and something that you learned this year that maybe we can hold. Something you learned this year, okay? One thing that you learned. Go ahead.
Bob McNeese, April 2nd. I've made 66 trips now.
Okay.
And I learned that the aging is God's way of saying slow down and smell the coffee.
All right. Beautiful.
David Chait, 65. I celebrate my birthday and we bury my mom the same day. It was a special day.
Todd Kemp. I turned 45 last Sunday, and this year I learned that it's hard to tune a sharp D string in front of 100 congregants.
I'm Elijah, and I'm turning
No, you gotta tell us how old you're turning first.
12.
Okay.
And I learned that my bar mitzvah is coming up.
Okay.
Now can I take
Of course.
I'm Jackson. I'm turning 15 on the 28th, and I've learned to always stay positive.
All right. Beautiful.
I'm Jonah, and I am 7. And just saying my birthday, I had it in Israel.
All right. Beautiful.
I'm Zachary. I turned 13 on April 20th. I learned how to chant Torah, and I actually use this birthday pen every day.
All right. Now you got another one, huh? They run out of ink sometimes, you know. It's good.
I'm Dave Leitner, and I turned 60 on April 6th, and I learned that 60 is the new 40.
Yay.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tenerelli, and I turned 35 on April 6th as well. And I've learned that life gets better every year.
All right. Beautiful.
I'm Howard Cohen. On the 28th, I turned 80. And as much as I've learned, as much as I know, I have a heck of a lot more to learn.
All right. Beautiful. And so with this wonderful group, we have an opportunity to say Shechianu. You reached a new moment, a new joy, a new season. So we join together. Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו
that weren't enough, we get to sing a little.
Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach.
Happy birthday. May it be filled this year, filled with joy and blessing. And these are going to become collector's items, I guarantee you, at some point soon. Mazel tov.
All right. Raise your hand. Actually, don't even raise your hand. Stand up if you are under 18. According to your birth certificate, not your heart. I know so many of us. All right. Come down here. Come down here. Come on over. Come on over. It's okay. See, we have this tradition. We have this tradition of, yeah, sure, sit, make yourself at home. We have this tradition on the second Friday of every month to, here comes Fina. Wherever. You can sit here. We have this tradition on the second Friday of every month that during our family service, instead of giving a sermon, we tell a little story. So I want to tell you a story, but it involves some participation. So I know, that's a tall ask for our youth and teen choir. So once upon a time, there was this guy. Once upon a time, there was this guy, and he had a birthday in April, apparently. And he liked to go for walks on Shabbat. Do you guys like to go for walks on Shabbat, ever? I did. Do you even acknowledge that it's Shabbat? It's okay. Nice. There are lots of great places to walk in town, which is great. And where this guy happened to be living, he was right near a forest. And he loved to go out into the forest every Shabbat and go for a Shabbat walk. And one Shabbat he went out for, as Shabbat was entering, it was a Friday afternoon, and so he went out for his Shabbat walk as he was getting ready for Shabbat to enter, and he walked the path that he had always walked, but this time was a little different because he heard a melody. He heard, Adi-yum, badi-yum, badi-dai, I diggy 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 die, I-di-um badi die, I diggy diggy die. And he was so overcome with emotion, and he kept walking, and the melody continued. I diggy die, I diggy die, I diggy 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 die, I diggy die, I diggy die, I diggy 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 die. And he was so taken. His heart was just so full. This was the most beautiful melody that he had ever heard. And so he spent the rest of the time that he was walking through the forest singing this melody. Adi-yum badi-die, I get diggy 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 die, Adi-yum badi-die, I get diggy diggy die. He walked out of the forest back home and he kept going. I get diggy die, I get diggy die, I get diggy 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 die, I get diggy die, I get diggy die, I get diggy 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 die. His heart was so full with this melody, he walked into his house, and his family said, Abba, how are you? How was your walk? And he responded, Adi-um badi-die, I get diggy 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 die, Di, I get diggy diggy da. And his kids came up to him and they said, Abba, how was your walk? We're so excited for Shabbat. And he responded, I get diggy die, I get diggy die, I get diggy 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 die, I get diggy die, I get diggy die, I get diggy 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 die. Well, this went on for a while.
You don't say.
It went on so long. It went all the way through Shabbat, where any time someone in his family said anything, his response was, I-di-um-ba-di-um-ba-di-di, I-gi-diggy diggy 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 die, I-di-um-ba-di-um-ba-di-di, I-gi-diggy diggy die. Shabbat ended. They did Havdalah, and they said, now, will you stop? And he responded, I get diggy die, I get diggy die, I get diggy 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 die, I get diggy die, I get diggy die, I get diggy 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 die. Well, as you can imagine, his family got tired of this very quickly. A whole day of just singing this nigun. Do you want to tell the rest of the story, or sure?
Was he hypnotized by this, like?
You know, if you let me finish the story, I promise there's going to be an ending.
Okay, I hope there is. I don't want it to end in this song.
Okay. So this went on past Havdalah, past Sunday, past Monday, past Tuesday. This went on all the way through Thursday, and as Shabbat was approaching, they thought, you know, Abba went out into the forest. He came back singing this song. Maybe by the time Shabbat arrives, he'll stop. Maybe. And as they lit the Shabbat candles, do you know what he sang? Adi-um-ba-di-um-ba-di-di, I-gi-diggy diggy 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 die, Adi-um-ba-di-um-ba-di-di, I-gi-diggy diggy die. Oi, enough already, Abba, enough. We've had enough of the Adi-umpa. It's made you mashugana. And you know how he responded? I get diggy die, I get diggy die, I get diggy 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 die, I get diggy die, I get diggy die, I get diggy 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 die. Well, this went on for a very, very long time. It continued. He sang. The family got even more annoyed the more he sang. I don't relate to that at all. And oh no, because no. See, the three of us, we're in good company. Everyone else in the Anyway, this went on for a very, very long time. And eventually the family got a little worried. It had gone beyond the point of being cute. It had gone beyond the point of being funny. It had gone beyond the point of annoying. It had just gotten to the point where they were worried. And so this was a time long ago where doctors were not as readily available, and so they said, Abba, we have to send you to the doctor because we're worried. We're worried that something might be wrong. And so the family said their goodbyes as he kept singing along, and his daughter came up to him gave him one big hug, looked up at him and said, "I-dee-um-ba-dee-um-ba-dee-die, I-ga-diggy-diggy-diggy-diggy-die, I-dee-um-ba-dee-um-ba-dee-die, I-ga-diggy-diggy-die." And together they all sang, I-ga-diggy-die, I-ga-diggy-die, I-ga-diggy-diggy-diggy-diggy-diggy-die, I-ga-diggy-die, I-ga-diggy-die, I-ga-diggy-diggy-diggy-die. Bobala, thank you for singing with me, the Abba said. And the family, their jaws dropped just as yours did. Just as yours did. And they said, "Abba, what happened?" And he said, "Well, I went out into the forest all those weeks ago, and I heard the most beautiful melody. It was the most beautiful melody. It filled my soul. It made my heart sing. And I didn't want to lose that melody. And so I sang. But what made me stop singing was the moment I knew that I wouldn't be able to forget it because I had passed it on to you." And the whole family sang, "Ah-dee-um-ba-dee-um-ba-dee-die, I-ga-diggy-diggy-diggy-diggy-die, ah-dee-um-ba-dee-um-ba-dee-die, I-ga-diggy-diggy." They all sang in joy, I-ga-diggy-die, I-ga-diggy-die, I-ga-diggy-diggy-diggy-diggy-diggy-die, I-ga-diggy-die, I-ga-diggy-die, I-ga-diggy-diggy-diggy-die. Now, earlier in the service, I talked about this line, "Bechol dor vador." To each generation, we will share the story of our exodus from Egypt. And yes, that is one of the stories that we share from generation to generation. But it's more. It's more than just the story. It's what frames the story. It's the melodies we offer at our Seder. It's the values that we all pass down from one generation to the next. And hopefully each of us is able to pass something down to the next generation, whether it is this story that I learned at Camp Newman from one of my rabbis, or maybe it's a nigun, the one in this story, or a different one, or perhaps it's your grandmother's matzo ball soup recipe. Whatever it is, the whole point that I hope we can take away is that it's a wonderful thing for us to celebrate Shabbat, but it's even more wonderful when we're able to pass it down to the next generation and join together in song. Shabbat Shalom. You all may go back to your seats. And I'd like to invite up, again, her favorite title, immediate past president of the congregation, Kim Carno, to offer some announcements from the congregation.
There's no respect for immediate past president over there. Especially from my son. Shabbat Shalom. My name is Kim Carno. I'm a member of your board of directors. It's my pleasure on behalf of the board, clergy, and staff to welcome you to our Erev Shabbat family service this evening. Thank you to the Men's Club and Women of Beth Israel for ushering tonight's service. Thank you to our incredible youth choir, musicians, and soloists, Lily, Joe, Zachary, Anna, Trevor, and Ari, for bringing joy and spirituality to our time together this Shabbat. Join us tomorrow morning in the Activity Center for our Shabbat Torah study group at 9 a.m., led by our favorite senior rabbi, Rabbi Jason Navarez, followed by our weekly Shabbat Minyan service at 10:30 a.m. in the chapel. Join us Tuesday, April 18th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 for our annual Yom HaShoah ceremony. This is the time when we come together as a community to remember and honor the millions of innocent lives taken during the Holocaust. All are welcome in person at Beth Israel or online. The evening includes a moving tribute to Holocaust victims and survivors and a powerful address from our esteemed guest speaker, Rabbi Jack Romberg. There will also be a special dedication of the Holocaust Czech Survivor Scroll, which is on loan from the Memorial Scrolls Trust. Our adult and teen choirs will also be there. You can find more information on these and other events on the Congregation Beth Israel website, cbisd.org. As I thought about this evening and what I would say in response to everything going on in the news, from women's reproductive health limitations to mass shootings using AR-15 semi-automatic rifles, to ethics violations across our executive and judicial branches of government, coupled with the stresses in our lives as members of families, caregivers, parents, employees, bosses, and not to mention Jews, I realized that I was really looking forward to being here in this place with all of you at Beth Israel, where I can find warm embraces and solace, especially during Shabbat. I appreciate the insightful words of Rabbi Harold Kushner that Judaism, done right, has the power to save your life from being spent entirely on the trivial. But it can do more than that. Its goal is not just to make your life more satisfying. Its goal is not the survival of the Jewish people. That is a means to an end, not an end in itself. The ultimate goal is to transform the world into the kind of world God had in mind when God created it. As we look to the week ahead, may we all take this notion to heart, be the very best versions of ourselves, and continue to work to transform the world to meet that vision. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Kim. I invite you to please rise as we turn to page 278 as we fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Hineni muchan umzuman l'kayem mitzvat aseh shel sfirat haomer. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Hayom tisha yamim shehem shavua echad u'shnei yamim la'omer. Today is 9 days, which is 1 week and 2 days of the Omer. We remain standing as we turn to page 282 for Aleinu L'Shabeach. We join together.
Aleinu L'Shabeach La'adon HaKol לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד
Will you please be seated as we take a few moments to remember those who we've loved and lost, those who are no longer physically with us, those who continue to live on in our hearts and in our memories. If there's a name of a loved one that I'm sharing, I invite you in your honor to stand as you hear their name called so that we can acknowledge your presence and we can surround you with our love as well. We mourn the recent passing of Shaul G. Masri, father of Dina Masri and her husband Ken Gruco, grandfather to their children Sam and Ava. In this period of Shiva, we think of Amelia Chait, survived by her husband Moises Chait and her children Devorah, Cyrus, David and Christine, Miriam, Daniel, Samuel, Joel, and Jonathan. Roberto Lahana, father of Perla and Jeff Myers, grandfather of Daniel and Rebecca Myers. In this period of Shloshim, these 30 days past burial, we think of Jeffrey Goldstein, Alan Nixon Avraham Ben Malech, Natalie Givon, Anita Irene Landy, James Jim Harris, Gloria Kuhn, Neil Sachs, Henry Richmond, John Harley, Jack Winkleman, Dr. Malcolm Abramowitz Brahms, Suzanne Stern, Jeffrey Hilbrun, Melvin Stern. And we think of those who've died at this season in years past. As we recall, Clifford Ashetel, Sidel Ashetel, Annabelle Barron, Ina Bartel, Pearl Basser, Lily Bell, Ruth Bergman, Herbert Bernstein, Viola Blank, Sarah Blumen, Rose Borak, Gertrude Bridge, Rose Bronstein, Sally Cantor, Ruby Lee Cohen, Sam Cook, Riva Dietz, Joseph Dim, Beatrice Edelstein, Leonard Efron, Stephen Jacob Efron, Lillian Evans, Eileen Feldman, Carol Fink, C. Flaster, Beth Gatch, Lawrence Goodsitz, Andrea Goodman, Matilda Green, Gertrude Greenwald, Jean Gross, Joseph Gutstadt, Bill Hayden, Florence Hill, Harley B. Henning, Hyman Holeb, Raymond Hubler, Shirley Horowitz, Violet Ann Ilko, Evelyn Jaffe, Forrest Johns, Renee Kassif, Gertrude Kleiman, Marty Klitzner, Faye Conoco, Wendy Eden Koski, Marilyn Kretzer, Gertrude Kurtz, Jordan Lagman, Jay Lasker, Jenny Leff, Harry Leitner, Herman Levinson, Abel Levine, Charles Levine, Louise Lizerbrand, William S. Sandy Luschheim, Jeffrey Lurkus, Max Massey, Olga McContry, Charles Medley, Melvin H. Mitchell, Victor Millman, Henry Mincy, Ernie Mosser, Sam Moskowitz, Al Nadell, Patsy Ruth Nuruk, Samuel Podrup, Betty Press, Charles Press, Earl L. Richmond, Ann Ruth Rivers, Arthur Rifkin, Bernard Rogo, Harry Rosenblum, Doris Rubin, Gilmore Rubin, Jacques Salem, Lillian Rochelle Sebio, George Sheckman, Barbara S. Sildorf, Michael Sitzer, Kava Slavutskaya, Anna Slomovitz, Robert L. Smith, Charles Smolin, Lillian Smulowitz, Roy Solomon, Gerald Spear, Jenny H. Spielman, Edith Stower, Sam Sulkin, Eileen Tannenbaum, Irving Ushko, Lil Warner, Lynn Warner, Aaron Weiner, and Bernice Zalato. If there was a name that you would like to share at this time, I invite you to rise in your place and I'll call on you so we can hear that name at this time. As we rise as a sacred community together, we join on page 294 the words of Kaddish Tome, and together we say, Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirtei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei l'chol Beit Israel, b'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitmaman v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kodisha b'reichu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav uyaseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Zichronam levracha. May the memories ever continue to inspire and be for blessing as we say together, Amen. I invite you to put your prayer books down. Perhaps place your arms around those you came in with or are comfortable with. As we conclude this evening, as our youth and teen choir lead us, and thank you to our amazing musicians, always guiding the way for us. Your gifts are legendary, and we adore you. And we conclude this evening with Yehei Yehei.
Yehei, Yehei, Yehei Shalom Rabbah, Yehei Shalom Rabbah, Rabbah min Shemaya, Yehei, Yehei, Yehei Shalom Rabbah, Yehei Shalom Rabbah min Shemaya.
to someone, say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And
Wait,
before we do Motzi,
Yes.
I just want to acknowledge, especially for those in the choir, if you have enjoyed doing those dance moves, it's because of David Chait. So it's a thrill having him here and leading us in those dance moves. Thank you, David.
We join together for Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay. Thank you guys. I thought we were going to do